How language shapes the way we think by Lera Boroditsky. Great, amazing. Again, staring into the abyss. Many of these videos start staring into the abyss. It's a reoccurring theme. Okay, let's go.
I'll be speaking to you using language because I can. This is
Yes, she just explained it. Wow, beautifully. Saying the obvious. Amazing. Again, with the futuristic Britney Spears microphone, amazing.
one of these magical abilities that we humans have.
She looks like straight out from the movie Gattaca. You know, with this outfit, what is this? Like a futuristic airline person? I don't know. What is this? A doctor? A doctor, of course.
We can transmit really complicated thoughts to one another. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm making sounds with my mouth as I'm exhaling. I'm making tones and hisses and
Yes, and you also made a big brass or a big metal spindle around your middle finger, right? It's a brace. It's a corset just like around your dress, right? And what are you saying? Because you can point the obvious all day long, and so can I.
puffs, and those are creating air vibrations in the air. Those air vibrations are traveling to you, they're hitting your eardrums, and then your brain takes those vibrations from your eardrums and transforms them into thoughts.
Yes, sound waves. Amazing. You figured it out. It is about sound waves. But you know what? You don't care because the word is not inside of you. And you will speak your own word and try to spell all these other people into believing you because told you. Ted told you.
I hope. Right? I hope that's happening. So, because of this ability, we humans are able to transmit our ideas across vast reaches of space and time. Right? We're able to transmit knowledge across minds. I can put a bizarre new idea in your mind right now. I could say, imagine a jellyfish waltzing in a library while thinking about quantum mechanics. Right? Now, if everything has gone relatively well in your life so far, you probably haven't had that thought before.
She that's the look. That's the smashed look. Okay, because she thinks she's been clever. But no, she just exposed herself for being smashed. Okay? Because yes, you can multiple people have the ability to come to focus on the most arbitrary things in your mind, but there's only one way, there's only one truth, because you can think many things, but then you have to act, okay? And there's only, you can be in alignment to the ordinance of the realm of the earth or not. And certainly you want to leave the earth because you're dressing as though you're from the future and you want to live in space, okay? So you're totally about surpassing any ordinance that would ever have been bestowed upon you because you don't care. You don't give a damn. All you care about is how you can influence other people to do your will. Yes.
But now I've just made you think it through language. Right? Now, of course, there isn't just one language in the world. There are about 7,000 languages spoken around the world. And all the languages differ from one another in all kinds of ways. So some languages have different sounds, they have different vocabularies, and they also have different structures. Very
Wait, is this the what? Is this the city on fire? Yes, of course. And you're standing on a red circle. Yes, we've all been to TED Talks. Yes, and perhaps some of us have actually been on the stage. Yes, and perhaps this person feels so privileged. But again, what are you? This is the swarm. Okay, okay. Look at her eyes. That is approval. That is the site of approval. Okay? Don't
very
forget.
importantly, different structures. That begs the question, does the language we speak shape the way we think? Now, this is an ancient question. People have been speculating about this question.
Okay, first of all, Lara, if you're gonna talk about sound and waves, I hope you get to the topic of, atomic language, right? Because I mean, if we're really talking straight here, yes, I would say you would very well know that speaking is like a spell, an incantation. You're chanting, right? So it does matter because it's what you end up worshiping, right? Because it's what you define and then what you constantly pay attention to with language, and that's how you communicate. And of course, this person thinks that there's so many diverse other languages, but no, there's only one. A certain sound will always point to that sound, and that sound will be that sound and have its, a plethoras and fractals of influences surrounding it and about it, right? Of course. But she probably won't talk about that. She'll probably just talk about music therapy and binaural beats, and who cares? But let's see.
Question for forever. Charlemagne, Holy Roman Emperor, said to have a second language is to have a second soul. Strong statement that language crafts reality.
Again, how more clear could it be that they want to split they want to give you multiple identities? Okay, yes, of course. And no, it's not that having a second mean of communication means that, oh, it's just a second means of communication. No, of course not. But of course it does have meaning, because I would agree, maybe, Lara, that certain sounds and words are, have that you can scramble words, and you can, I mean, it's the occult, Lara. I'm pretty sure you know what that is, right? Because of course you follow the rules for every classy girl, right? Of course. But who governs that? Are you smashed? I don't know, but you certainly
But
are
on the other hand,
behaving. And all these other people, look, okay, look, apparently they're all women. Okay, they're all women that came to your talk, right? I don't know why, but um this person doesn't give a damn. Okay, this one remembered. Damn, she forgot about everything. Okay, and this person is not even looking at her, right? Because look at where these eyes are, and this person is just looking somewhere else. And this person over here, I don't know what she's looking at, but it's not the same thing as this, right? Come on, look. Wow, very interesting. It's almost like they were told, okay, look over here and pose. No, but of course it's not. This person actually is grabbing their chin in intrigue. Hmm.
and Shakespeare has Juliet say, "What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet." Well, that suggests that maybe language doesn't craft reality. These arguments have gone back and forth for thousands of years.
It's the ideas that language point to, okay, or refer to, or have incantation to, right? When you have a word and you say it, it evokes a particular, influence, right, on the flesh. Yes, you know it. That's why when you worship your father, when you worship the Lord, when you worship the only true living God, right, you evoke that, and perhaps that's the origin of, monastic chants, who knows. But at the same time, no, you'd rather blast binaural beats through your brain and smash and scramble, and I don't know. So hope for the best, and maybe it does help you meditate, and maybe it does help you, bring these other entities more into your life, and you feel purified. But no, you're just numb and more smashed.
But until recently, there hasn't been any data to help us decide either way. Recently, in my lab and other labs around the world, we've started doing research, and now we have actual scientific data to weigh in on this question.
She had to actually say actual scientific data, because no, she couldn't just say my lab has done research and has provided this data. No, she had to say she actual scientific data. Wow.
So let me tell you about some of my favorite examples. I'll start with an example from an Aboriginal community in Australia that I had a chance to work with. These are the Cook Tire people. They live in Pomporao at the very west edge of Cape York. And what's cool about Cook Tire is in Cook Tire, they don't use words like left and right. And instead, everything is in cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Mind blowing, right? Oh, how could somebody not have a word for left and right? Amazing. Well, Lara, did you know that the Mayans, it is said that they're. Did you know that you're smashed by the calendar? Yes. Your calendar is your life. You worship the calendar, and yes, any any person that can come to that knowledge, yes, can exploit it to its fullest. But no, you just see it as a to-do list. But no, it actually governs and smashes and blasts your brain. Okay, and of course, the Mayans also had this, a calendar based on the sun and the moon and all these things, but it was based on the agrarian cycle, right? The business aspect of their dealings, right? And then there had another one, right? Because it not only as in of just seeing yourself as a factor of space and time. Well, what about the Mayans? They included, space, time, and intention. Okay, so there was an intention to it all, and your example may is not as powerful perhaps, but you I think I get you. I think I know what you're trying to say. But listen, the ideas that refer to it is what matters, not language itself. Okay.
And when I say everything, I really mean everything. You would say something like, oh, there's an ant on your southwest leg, or move your cup to the north-northeast a little bit. In fact, the way that you say,
Oh, because does this person actually think that people? She probably believes in evolution, and okay, if you think that people just evolved language, no, people didn't need language. Okay, it's almost like, yeah, you don't need to say anything if you know it, and you have certainty. You have pure certainty, and all you do when you open your mouth is worship and exalt and chant. Okay, and that's all you would need to use your mouth for, because anything else, it's it's nonsense. You don't need to even speak. Okay, and because speaking is almost it's the lie, because through speech you only have a snapshot to any actual given scenario, right? Because a scenario is a snapshot of everything. It's not its components by what you can come to define it as. No, it's not. Okay, so you either can read the signs and times, or you're blasted. You're blasted, completely blasted.
hello in Kuktire is you say, which way are you going? And the answer should be north-northeast in the far distance. How about you? So imagine as you're walking around your day, every person you greet, you have to report your heading direction. That would actually get you oriented pretty fast, right? Because you literally couldn't get past hello if you didn't know which way you were going. In fact, people who speak languages like this stay oriented really, really well. They stay oriented better than we used to think.
Oh, okay. You just said something really profound, right? Language is, yes. I said about chanting and singing. Well, you know why? Because that actually brings you closer, right? To the living God, of course, right? But this person isn't going to say that. But language, that's what it is. Why do you think singing exists? I don't know. It's amazing, right? Who cares what they're saying on the opera, but it's profound, it's powerful, right? You don't have to go to the opera, you can just listen to it, but you don't who sits there through the 3 4 hours of it. Okay, it it's overwhelming as well. Okay, but this person knows it, but of course, what is she saying? No, talking is part of it. No, talking is the smashed up lie. Okay, yes. And of course, now we rely on language to convey um, a message based on the fragmented, split, shattered mind of all these associated definitions. That has robbed us, stolen away our integrity with life. Yes, it has.
think humans could. We used to think that humans were worse than other creatures because some biological excuse, oh, we don't have magnets in our beaks or in our scales. No, if your language and your culture trains you to do it, actually you can do it. There are humans around the world who stay oriented really well. And just to get us in agreement about how different this is from the way we do it, I want you all to close your eyes for
No.
a second
Look at all
and
these
point
people
southeast.
just getting smashed.
Now keep your eyes closed,
But
point.
good, experiment.
Okay, so you can open
Exercise.
your eyes. I see you guys pointing there, 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 there.
Yes.
I don't know which way it is myself.
Good point. Listen, you're gonna probably argue that that's why language exists, so you can, verify. But no, if you don't know your orientation in life, you're blasted. You're sunk, right? It wants you to float with him, right? It wants you to come afloat because he will save you and also molest you and probably stab you and murder you. Yes, of course. But no, you rather sink. You rather sink. Because ultimately, if you have the foundation and the certainty of your orientation in life and the truth, and nothing and no one will ever take that away from you, yes, you're unstoppable. But no, you will have the world explain it to you through whispers in the ear and tell you and convince you and promise you false hope. Yes, false hope, like wearing red and white to a red event of, devastation because you want to be loved by the world. Yes.
You have not been a lot of help. Right? So let's just say the accuracy in this room was not very high. This is a big difference in cognitive ability across languages, right? Where one group, very distinguished group like you guys, doesn't know which way is which, but in another group, I could ask a 5-year-old and they would know. Right?
Right, subtle slap to the face, right? Somehow she's got the upper hand. Yes, look, she even puts it up there. Yes. And of course, she's looking into the abyss for more guidance because she's lost. She needs a little bit more guidance right now in this moment because she's feeling a little disoriented.
There are also really big differences in how people think about time. So here I have pictures of my grandfather at different ages. And if I ask an English speaker to organize time, they might lay it out this way, from left to right. This has to do with writing direction. If you were a speaker of Hebrew, Arabic, you might do it going in the opposite direction, from right to left. How would the Kuuk-Thaayorre, this Aboriginal group I just told you about, do it? They don't use words like left and right. Let me give you a hint. When we sat people facing south, they organized time from left to right. When we sat them facing north, they organized time from right to left. When we sat them facing east, time came towards the body. What's the pattern?
It all points the same way.
East
Yes.
to west, right?
Yes.
So for
Of
them,
course.
time doesn't act.
And wow, okay, if that doesn't blow your mind, that okay, I think that it has been the most profound thing you said thus far, and I don't know if you're gonna top that. I don't know, but yes, these Aborigines. How dare it be coincidence, right? No, it's right. It's just coincidence that it's just these people that came to uh, orient themselves accordingly, like, and express themselves to that because they know a specific direction. They know something you don't know, perhaps, and perhaps yes.
Actually get locked on the body at all. It gets locked on the landscape. So for me, if I'm facing this way, then time goes this way. If I'm facing this way, then time goes this way. If I'm facing this way, time goes this way. Very egocentric of me to have the direction of time chase me around every time I turn my body.
Wow. No, it's not egocentric. It's only egocentric because look, you're egocentric. And of course, um, knowing the way doesn't mean you're egocentric. No, it just means you know what it takes to walk in truth, right? To walk in truth in life, right? Because that is the only way. But no, you're smashed and you deny it, and you have this vibrator here to show how much of a independent, free thinker you are. Yes, you're holding in open plain sight a vibrator slash pointer and flicker, whatever it is. And of course, looking like um, some modern, futuristic um, doctor of some sort. I don't know. Nurse, uh, flight attendant. I don't know. It looks like a uniform.
For the Kuuk-Thaayorre, time is locked on the landscape. It's a dramatically different way of thinking about time. Here's another really smart human trick. Suppose I ask you, how many penguins are there? Well, I bet I know how you'd solve that problem if you solved it. You went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You counted them, right? You named each one with a number, and the last number you said was the number of penguins. Now, this is a little trick that you're taught to use as kids. You learn the number list and you learn how to apply it. A little linguistic trick. Well, some languages don't do this because some languages don't have exact number words. They're languages that don't have a word like 7 or a word like 8. And in fact, people who speak these languages don't count, and they have trouble keeping track of exact quantities. So, for example, if I ask you to match this number of penguins to the same number of ducks, you would be able to do that by counting. But folks who don't have that linguistic trick can't do that.
It's not a linguistic trick, and actually, it is. Look, she knows it is. That's why she looks that way. Look, that smirk. It is a linguistic trick because, really, in reality, they don't. That's not even what. What is it to take account? To be an accountant is to suffer and die. Yes, suffer and die through numbers. Just looking at them, just waste away in the pages, in the ink, and now just pile up on screens, pumping out code. Okay, and this person thinks that's somehow, you know, unconveyable to somebody that doesn't include that. No, it's just that they don't care. They don't care about your blasted, mashed up, Harry Potter reality. Okay, no, and they probably do some other, ritual. They they're basically governed by another ritual, and your ritual is of this specific cult of the death, and of course of the light and the love. But it's the counterfeit, of course. Look, the counterfeit light, meaning the realm of this earth, right? Because it comes across as the life. But in fact, it's an apparition, just like this. Okay? And it's telling you, and you are telling it. And now you're going to stare probably directly into this light source so that you can get more indication of what to do because you seem clueless. Oh, she did.
Languages
She
also
did it.
differ in how they divide up the color spectrum, the visual world. Some languages have lots of words for colors, some have only a couple words, light and dark, and languages differ in where they put boundaries between colors. So, for example, in English, there's a word for blue that covers all of the colors that you can see on the screen. But in Russian, there isn't a single word. Instead, Russian speakers have to differentiate between light blue, голубой, and dark blue, синий. So Russians have this lifetime of experience of, in language, distinguishing these two colors. When we test people's ability to perceptually discriminate these colors, what we find is that Russian speakers are faster
Exactly.
across this
Yes. Amazing. Thank you for bringing that color into scheme because what you're really talking about is degrees. Degrees. Degrees, right? Degrees of separation. Fading. You want there to be just a fade because yes, let's just say there is many shades of blue, right? But listen, there's many ways to express what that is, okay? And you don't need to have a word for every single little thing unless there's a specific purpose for that, right? And the only purpose is for manipulation, yes. For accounting purposes, yes. And look, she's smashed. Um,
linguistic boundary. They're faster to be able to tell the difference between a light and a dark blue.
and of course, right, this color, I mean, the degrees of separation of, the line of sight that this person has at this point. Look, she's looking at two different sources, and of course, it's speaking back to her. But the blue and the gradient of degrees, okay? The degrees, what you're talking about is if there is a sound that is evoked, yes, it will have that. And you can have a sound that will hit the actual note, for example, or a variance, out of it, a, a, dis, a dissonant tone, or whatever. I don't know. But listen, semitones, whatever you want to call it, it's infinite. You can blast your brain again into music theory and the abyss. But really, there is hitting the mark, okay? And that is the way you hit the mark, right? Anything is not hitting the mark, right? And we make a mockery of that path of that way, and we have created our counterfeit way, the ways of man, the ways to go rise above in this basically laid out platform where you're told you can go out there and be somebody, right? Go ahead. So this person went out there and believed that, and she did a bunch of research that produced actual scientific data according to her words. And now she's just smashed, okay?
And when you look at people's brains as they're looking at colors, say you have colors shifting slowly from light to dark blue, the brains of people who use different words for light and dark blue will give a surprise reaction as the colors shift from light to dark, as if, ooh, something has categorically changed. Whereas the brains of English speakers, for example, that don't make this categorical distinction, don't give that surprise, because nothing is categorically changing.
Right. It's called incantation. That's right. The wonders of the world are with the spells, right? You can spell anything into basically manifestation. What that means is really opening your eyes to it because it's there, and it's just a matter if you're gonna look at it, right? You just stare at it long enough. Just like they'll tell you, stare long enough into the abyss, and yes, it will tell you what to do. But no, avoid surrendering and repenting, to the creator of the sun, not worship of the sun, of course. And but no, they rather just spell it out in German and in Spanish. Wow, they can do it both, guys. Guys, they can do it. They can do it in both. Isn't that incredible? Yes, it is.
Languages have all kinds of structural quirks. This is one of my favorites. Lots of languages have
Why can't you just say either you praise the Lord or you don't, right? And it's gonna be hitting the mark, right? Or getting smashed, right? Okay, no, you will not say that. You will say there's degrees. You'll say there's degrees to the sun. Yes, there's degrees to the sun because they form a pyramid, and you can make those degrees line up perfectly, and everybody can do the same. Yes, only given the right tools will you only succeed. Yes, so therefore be careful. With great power comes great responsibility. Nonsense. You are smashed.
grammatical gender. So every noun gets assigned a gender, often masculine or feminine, and these genders differ across languages. So, for example, the sun is feminine in German, but masculine in Spanish. And the moon
Oh, every. I mean, this isn't up here for by accident. Okay, I mean, I was talking about the pyramid, but just because it's there. But of course, it's there for a reason, and the moon as well. Look, guys, it's the moon, and of course, it also represents Saturn. And they're telling you, look, it's in your face. This is it. These are the degrees, and of course, it's masculine and feminine. But no, guys, it's fluid. No, guys, it's fluid because ultimately they're trying to create degrees of reaching the sun. But listen, you're being singed, you're being burned alive, okay? Yes, that's the truth.
moon the reverse. Could this actually have any consequence for how people think? Do German speakers think of the sun as somehow more female like and the moon somehow more male like? Actually, it turns out that's the case. So if you ask German and Spanish speakers to, say, describe a bridge, like the one here, bridge happens to be grammatically feminine in German, grammatically masculine in Spanish. German speakers are more likely to say bridges are beautiful, elegant, these stereotypically feminine words, whereas Spanish speakers will be more likely to say they're strong or long, these masculine words.
Okay, she's wrong.
To say they're
Look,
stereotypically feminine words, whereas Spanish speakers will be more likely to say elegant in Spanish. German speakers are more likely to say grammatically feminine in German, grammatically masculine in Spanish.
right.
German speakers are more likely to say bridges are beautiful, elegant, these stereotypically feminine words, whereas Spanish speakers will be more likely to say they're strong or long, these masculine words.
Well, listen, I'll
Um,
give you this. Um, you just did exactly what this guy did, right? You tipped over a vase and it's smashing because you can say that a vase it looks feminine and that's why you gave it a feminine attribute, but no. They have incantations to the words. Yes, it does. Of course it does. So it based on the true principle of the vibration that created the masculine and the feminine, okay? And that those are the waves that are around you, of course, yes. But no, you rather say, um, it's just the object that infers, and based on your placid brain, you're gonna name it according to that. No, okay, you're gonna impose your will onto a particular object because that's the way this placid person is going to do. He's gonna post that picture, and develop it in his dark red room, right, worshiping um Kronos. Okay, and of course, look, he just tipped over the um, essence, right? The vial, and now he's being poisoned.
Languages also differ in how they describe events, right? So you take an event like this, an accident. In English, it's fine to say he broke the vase. In a language like Spanish, you might be more likely to say the vase broke or the vase broke itself. If it's an accident, you wouldn't say that someone did it. In English, quite weirdly, we can even say things like, I broke my arm. Now, in lots of languages, you couldn't use
Right. So you just okay. So English is gender neutral, has no gender. Is that what you just said? Mm.
that construction unless you are a lunatic and you went out looking to break your arm and you succeeded, right? If it was an accident, you would use a different construction. Now, this has consequences. So, people who speak different languages will pay attention to different things depending on what their language usually requires them to do. So, we show the same accident to English speakers and Spanish speakers. English speakers will remember who did it because English requires you to say, he did it, he broke the vase. Where Spanish speakers might be less likely to remember who did it if it's an accident, but they're more likely to remember that it was an accident. They're more likely to remember the intention. So two people watch the same.
So are you explaining how brainwashing works? Yes, I think you are. That's what you're doing. I think that's what you're doing. You're explaining brainwashing because you can say these people can think this way, but hey, look at these people. They think a different way. And no, it couldn't be because they were taught and brought in and basically traumatized and emotionally made to have attachments because they were brought up in the wrong, false way of suffer and die. Yes, suffer and die and work your ass off and bust it in till you make it, okay? And show your booty until you find that man. And of course, you will have success and you can have as many children whenever, if ever at all, and or not, or just transform into male because yes, you can do it all. And of course, just because other languages wouldn't know what you're talking about doesn't mean that they that it's wrong or that they just it's just not in their language. And no, it can't be that it's because um, there's something you know in just there's a wave that perhaps is distortion. Maybe there's a distortion. No, it couldn't be that. It could be that now we just have to bridge, right? Now we just have to infiltrate every language so that there is, you know, a universal code of how we communicate and express. And if we all learn that, then yes, we will come to embrace and get a dress like this shipped to her house ASAP, okay? Because they have started to pump them out and have them ready. And as soon as this person is done talking, they will be available.
Event, witness the same crime, but end up remembering different things about that event. This has implications, of course, for eyewitness testimony. It also has implications for blame and punishment. So if you take
Listen, okay, well, I think I've had it because you either overcome or you don't, right? And who cares? This person wants to remember every blasted thing that ever happened to her and every blasted thing that, any other person ever said to her. But look, either you overcame or you became the world, okay? And the world will smash and dash and pump and dump you, okay? Because the world doesn't care as much as you think you care about the world. Yes, it does not. Because the world is just a fleshly mirror and you are here to overcome the flesh and to accept and worship the only father that gave you life. Yes, of course. And you have to forgive and forgive every wrongdoing because you're wrong. And all these people in the audience are probably, I don't know, I haven't taken another look at them, but sometimes I can spot the ones that are are a little, skeptic, but most of them, they're just full in. They're full in.
English speakers, and I just show you someone breaking a vase and I say, he broke the vase, as opposed to I say, the vase broke. Even though you can witness it yourself, you can watch the video, you can watch the crime against the vase, you will punish someone more, you will blame someone more if I just said he broke it, as opposed to it broke. Right?
Okay, you're splitting hairs here, and it's tiring, almost as tiring as it looks like you need a very like a long nap because maybe you're just stressed out, maybe you had a bad day, and maybe perhaps you're just very nervous and under a lot of pressure. Okay, I get it, and it's hard. That's why you wore this, puke, friendly. I don't know. Is she smashed? I don't know. But look, of course, right now she again just focus on. There's two foci. She has two masters. She definitely has two masters, and just smashed and scrambled.
The language guides our reasoning about events. Now, I've given you a few examples of how language can profoundly shape the way we think, and it does so in a variety of ways. So, language can have big effects.
Their distraction. Okay, language is ultimately a distraction from the truth, which doesn't need language. It's a recognition. It's a revelation, and you either go along with it or you deny it. Yes, you deny the world or you embrace the world. Yes, and of course, this person wants you to navigate and just smash and dash in the world, right, with her. And if you're lucky, you get to do it with her. But no, it's not luck because she doesn't believe in luck. She makes it when she wants it, okay? And she gets it when she wants it. Look at that boot. She will kick you so. She will kick you so hard. I mean, I don't even know if you'll have any, yeah, even soft tissue left, okay? Because at that point, you wouldn't even feel anything. Because by the time she's done with you, it's too late.
Like we saw with space and time, where people can lay out space and time in completely different coordinate frames from each other. Language can also
Again, it's the calendar. Your mind blasted by the way you organize your orientation. That's right. So wouldn't it be the most important to make sure that you're in alignment to the orientation that gave you life? I don't know. Nah, it's better to just go along with the penguins and live vertically. What defy everything. Okay, and it is amazing.
have really deep effects. That's what we saw with the case of number. Having count words in your language, having number words, opens up the whole world of mathematics. Of course, if you don't count, you can't do algebra. You can't.
Oh, here we go with Harry Potter math. Here we go, guys. This is the moment I was waiting for. Is she gonna? Is she going to suggest algorithm that would produce a language based on intention or on variables that are unanimous amongst languages? I don't know. Let's see.
Can't do any of the things that would be required to build a room like this or make this broadcast, right? This little trick of number words gives you a stepping stone into a whole cognitive realm. Language can also have really early effects, what we saw in the case of color, right? These are really simple, basic perceptual decisions. We make thousands of them all the time, and yet language is getting in there and fussing even with these tiny little perceptual decisions that we make. Language can have really broad effects. So the case of grammatical gender may be a little silly, But at the same time, grammatical gender applies to all nouns. That means language can shape how you're thinking about anything that can be named by a noun. It's a lot of stuff. And finally, I give
Right. Exactly. It's a lot of stuff, and you know it, and you're smashed if you think you can know, you know, um, of course you can know. There's only one certainty, right? It's a certainty of life, the certainty of everlasting life, and the certainty to stand with truth. But no, there's no truth inside. Look, that eye is an eye of shame. Okay, what shame are you hiding, Lara? I don't know, but it's probably it's probably deep, like that description of the penguins. Okay, is very deep. And
you an example of how language can shape things that have personal weight to us. Ideas like blame and punishment or eyewitness memory. These are important things in our daily lives. Now, the beauty of linguistic diversity is that it reveals to us just how ingenious and how flexible the human mind is.
exactly, it's a splintering, because not it's not that the mind it's not that the mind gave you, right, it's that through the mind now we relate that way. Okay, and it's not that the mind, played a trick on you. No, it was the evocation through the mouth, right, to subdue, to cause an incantation that then became the mode of engagement, right? When you could, through what you said, you could make appear to others, maybe that didn't see what you were saying the way that you were saying it before, but somehow you turn that to come in your favor and have these people follow you. I don't know.
Human minds have invented not one cognitive universe, but 7,000 or 7,000 languages spoken around the world. Uh, and we can create many more. Languages, of course, are living things, things that we can hone and change to suit our needs.
Wow. Languages are living entities. Yes, she said that. And of course, she knows it. She looks like Jackie. And Jackie Onassis, look, of course, maybe she wants to be back in the 50s, um just smashing, okay? Because that's what they were doing. And of course, paving the way to the future, of course. That was her goal, and she did it. And of course, now she is now taking and the paver, and she's taking the full responsibility to keep going and keep paving the way. Yes, because that paved road will take us to space, and we'll pave space. Yes, we're gonna pave space with this vibrator clicker slash paver. Okay, because the rings predicted, and it's there. Yes, it'll happen.
Now, the tragic thing is that we're losing so much of this linguistic diversity all the time. So we're losing about one language a week, and by some estimates,
One language a week. Who's being genocided? Okay, yes, but no, you won't talk about that. No, and you might say, oh, it's just indigenous tongues that are, to just fade away and through time. No, you, and of course, diversity. I mean, no, you cannot see that perhaps there was an atomic language, and of course, it became fragmented, just like your fragmented brain, And of course, there is nothing to allow your incantation to spew onto the sun that will change what's under the sun, because there's nothing new under the sun. Is basically language is diarrhea. Okay, you're just wallowing around in just spew. Okay, that's all it is, because you don't need to speak if you know the true love of God, right? If you know the way and you live that way, nothing will. I mean, you can be blasted and bullet through the head, and it. No, you have eternal life, yes, and this person fears death, right? Because that's why she looks perfect, and she made so she spent, I don't know how long, maybe 5 minutes, but I don't know. She spent a long time on her makeup. All right.
half of the world's languages will be gone in the next 100 years. And the even worse news is that right now, almost everything we know about the human mind and the human brain is based on studies of usually American English speaking undergraduates at universities, right? That excludes almost all humans, right?
No, it doesn't. Because just because it's in English, okay. You forgot about the globalization, okay? Did you forget about the sodomizing of children? Did you forget about the indoctrination of the world? No. I okay, I yeah, she's confirmed. Smashed confirmed. Just smashed. Just totally look. And she even has the battle scars, okay? It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Okay? Because how can you say that?
So, what we know about the human mind is actually incredibly narrow and biased, and our science has to do better.
Okay, lost. Lost in the abyss. Lost in the abyss. But just let me take a few seconds and just play that back, okay?
That excludes almost all humans,
Exactly.
right?
Again,
So,
look, she thinks she's being clever, but no, her eye is lazy behind because it knows it doesn't want to look up and face the audience because it is a total lie.
what we know about the human mind is actually incredibly narrow and biased. And
She totally forgot about the globalization and how people speak English all over the world. And yes, there are parts of the world that don't speak English, but listen, it's just like pressing a button and getting an answer. So all you have to do is get some, nerdy who who cares? It could be whoever. Just get some translator come in and do their job, right? Because you can do that. So don't act like just because it's in English, right? It could be, it could. So are you going to condemn all Chinese literature because it's not in English? No, you're not. And of course, you're not going to condemn Spanish literature that's not in English. No, you're not. Only English, yes.
and our science has to do better.
Our science, right? Okay, because you realize the barrier. So you realize that English was not the end. You could not because no, it can't. So now you're gonna probably suggest no, it's too late in your video. It's game over, and you did not make any good points. I'm sorry. I don't know. You just smashed. You presented a bunch of nothing. Okay, a dust. You spoke about dust because there's nothing new under the sun. Yes, and you're pointing to the sun. Look, yes, you are. And you're looking into the abyss, hoping it will tell you what to do and say. But yes, it's only going to tell you if it's in your favor. And now it's not. It's not in your favor. And it knows. And of course, the abyss is deceiving you. Okay? It's lying. It has lied to you. Okay? Lara, listen, give up the world. The world does not love you the way you think you love it. Okay? Come on. And the only love that exists is the love of the creator, please. And of course, you know that no sun will be hot enough to ever train you to withstand the singeing burning of course, of the spirit that you're already experiencing right now. You're a little hot, you're a little sweaty. So you know what it's like to be under fire. Yes, you know. And of course, the pressures of the world. Yes, they're very much proxies to that, but no, you won't admit that you're burning and you're burning inside and you're burning fast, okay? And it's going to catch you and it's going to smash you, smash you, and smash you again. And so I encourage you to not go down that path, okay? And admit that yes, language shapes how we think, but then go take it further. Okay, take it further. If you're if you're a regular ass person, you would take it further and say, hey, listen. Then you can see clearly how language actually dominates you, and your laws are just spells and incantations, of course, and everything you believe is an incantation. So maybe use that, and perhaps for your other TED talk, if you get invited back, maybe talk about yes, the power of incantation and song, okay? Because through song, yes, other people are being deceived because yes, they're being put in states of particular states of mind, okay? And yes, they can be infiltrated just like you can be possessed when you go into deep meditation or whatever. right? When all you're supposed to do is pray. Okay, you're supposed to contemplate, and you're supposed to be in union and walk. Okay, and walk with God and ask God. Okay, you're not supposed to go into thoughtless abyss. Okay, no. Okay, you're supposed to be still. Be still, right? Be still with the Lord, and be private about it. Why go into a room with other filthy assholes that are just stinking up the room? Okay, there's dirty anuses that just haven't been quite cleaned right, and they're just spewing that gas, right? And you're surrounded by them, all in vanity, doing yoga. And of course, you could do your yoga at home, of course, but look, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I'm sure. It's not to bring you closer to the Lord, or to allow you to feel how truly humbled you are. No, it's only to make you feel more empowered. Yes, more empowered. Just like this look up into the abyss. You think you're strong, look into the abyss, but no, you're the weakest chink in the armor, and you will be devastated.
I want to leave you
Lost.
with this final thought.
Just lost.
I've told you about how speakers of different
She
languages
looks
think.
like she was just in shock. Like she was just, this person has, I don't know, she has a long gaze, and I don't know, a distant gaze, and it's very, look, I don't care how she describes it on her chart, but her gaze is distant, and there's distance, and she went the distance, okay? And I don't know what she's going to do with her research and produce actual research or scientific research again or not, but I don't know. My bet is that she will probably get pressures to do specific research based on funding, right? Sources and uh, yes, and of course the influence of overall why she chose to present her presentation the way she did, right? Because no, um, if she's just trying to just say that we think differently based on um, the words that we use, and okay, great. Who didn't? Who? How is that groundbreaking? No, it's not. And you don't need to have a bachelor or a master's or a PhD or have a smash degree to anything, right? Because all you have to do is look. You go to somewhere where you don't speak any of the language that you hear, and all you hear is intonations, you know, sounds. And you can come and you can become succumb by it. Okay, you can be succumb by it. And listen, you can be a avid learner. You can then engage in the learning process of that, right? But of course, no, you can just hear the murmurs, and that's what language is. They're murmurs, okay? They're murmurs that have degrees, and they have degrees because they have been conflated, right? Of course, but there's only one. I mean, you can play many keys, but then all of them, what? They're all music. Yes, it's music, and it's all the way of the word, the medium. But you can smash your day, all day, trying to figure it out. But no, instead of just accepting it and being aware of it and telling the signs and the times and living in accordance, of course, to the truth being, um, abiding by the life and the way. And yes, there's even if this was any useful knowledge, how is she going to apply it? Okay, no, it will not be so that people just smash their pipe dreams, and false ways of being, and attachment to anger and resentment, and just smash that and just overcome. No, this person is going to say no. You just gotta keep doing the affirmations, and you can do it yourself. No, right? Because oh no, it couldn't be possible that the greatest power
Different.
that ever created the greatest currency of the world is there is a process and there's a plan, and you are the purpose, right? You are the purpose. And instead of stumbling and falling and smashing and scrambling your brain along the way, just accept it and be humble and love it, and embrace it because it loves you, and let it fill you full and full, and you will never feel you. Okay, that's that's what in any. I don't care if this person speaks 80 languages. she wouldn't understand that in even if it was spoken in all those eight languages at the same time. No, it would just blast. It would just blast, and her blasted scrambled brain is has the defense, right? Has a defense, and she would scramble and blast her way out of it because no, there's she cannot be wrong. She cannot because she has actual scientific data on her side, and she that she identifies fully. Of course, look, just just completely smashed. Okay, yes.
Differently. But of course, that's not about how people elsewhere think. It's about how you think. It's how the language that you speak shapes the way that you think, right? And that gives you the opportunity to ask, why do I think the way that I do? How could I think differently? And also, what thoughts do I wish to create?
Oh, it's not about what you think, lady. Okay, are you a lady? I don't know, but listen, it's where you put you like what. There's no investment. As I was gonna say, where you invest in, but no, you do not invest in anything. You only worship. Okay, we can only worship. So you either worship the world or you worship your creator. Yes, okay? And that's it. And this person worships the world, and she wants you to create your own imagination and what way do I want to think? Yes. Okay, that's called magic and sorcery. Yes, the dark, occult, and come on, look at spread. It's all over the place. Look, destruction, the city, the bridge that leads to mayhem. Look, and she's leading you to the slaughter, of course, because no, languages are not the problem. They're just tools that are interpreted differently depending on where you go geographically and culturally and blah 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 nonsense. Okay, and yes, she didn't say anything about atomic language. Very disappointed. And even though she didn't, it's not that atomic language is the end all be all. But uh, given that it's about languages, yes, and about sound, yes, every word has you could even say a number associated to it, based on the alphanumerical schemes, depending on different alphabets. But yes, okay, and all these other things. And no, she didn't mention any of it because it would probably not, get her the likes that she was hoping to get. But of course, all the people in the crowd, um, I don't know. Let's just see if we can see them again one last time. Yes, let's hear. Okay, these people look again. I'm just taking a sample. I don't think I mentioned her before, but look, she's she's almost. This is shock. Okay, maybe she hasn't heard this. What the girl is talking about on stage is happening to her right now. She's like, I haven't heard. Wow, my mind is being blown. Yes, TED Talks, thank you for blowing my mind. No, your brain is being scrambled. It's being mashed. And this person again forgot, just forgot everything. And this person, it's almost like she's in pain. There's trauma going through her brain right now, and it's saying, you know what, I she could be right, and what is going on here? Like, okay, we we established that that this person doesn't give a damn. This person it's probably just a government shill, or just maybe it's your handler. Maybe it's your handler, just like, yes, you're doing an excellent job, Lara. Yes, and look at this. What? Okay, maybe she's a little sweaty, and maybe I've been to events like this, and there's volunteers everywhere, right, guys? So maybe she's running around, like maybe one of these people are the next speakers. I don't know, but they usually have people near. And anyway, look at all these people. It's just smashed. Okay, this what? It's just the stairs into the abyss, right? Okay, I'm gonna end it there.